The island of Alcatraz is located in San Francisco Bay, 1.25 miles offshore from San Francisco, California, in the United States of America. It is also home to the infamous Alcatraz Prison. The huge concrete main cell block was built in 1912 and was used during the First World War to house conscientious objectors. In August 1934, the island was designated as a federal prison by the United States Department of Justice. One of the main reasons for housing criminals here was because of the strong currents around the island and cold water temperatures, making escaping all but impossible. Or so they thought. In this video, we're going to take a look at the story of 3 prisoners that did manage to escape. Welcome back to Science Explained. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, we'd appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon if you haven't done it yet. And then I will notify you every time that we upload new content for this channel. But now, back to the escape from Alcatraz. Ever since Alcatraz became known as The Rock, an impenetrable and inescapable federal prison in San Francisco Bay, 36 inmates took part in 14 separate escape attempts. Out of these 36 inmates, 23 were caught before making it to freedom. 6 were shot and killed, 2 drowned in the intense currents of the water, and 5 are listed as missing and presumed drowned. But no concrete evidence exists. The escape of 3 of the inmates has become the inspiration for a 1963 non-fiction book and a 1979 film, both titled Escape from Alcatraz. Frank Morris was born on September 1st, 1926 in Washington, D.C. After being abandoned by his parents at a young age, Morris spent most of his childhood bouncing from one foster home to another. At the age of 13, his life turned to crime, dabbling in narcotics and armed robbery. This subsequently landed Morris doing time behind bars in several different prisons, and eventually escaping from Louisiana prison, only to be recaptured a year later. In 1960, Morris was shipped off to Alcatraz, the apparently inescapable prison. Brothers John and Clarence Anglin were born in Donaldsonville, Georgia, into a family of 13 children. As youngsters, they both became talented and strong swimmers, being able to cope with the freezing waters of Lake Michigan. Unlike Morris, the Anglin brothers had a fairly normal upbringing, but this didn't stop them from turning to a life of crime. After being sentenced to 15 to 20 years behind bars, the boys spent time in several different prisons, and after multiple failed escape attempts, they were transferred to Alcatraz. Once the 3 were settled into Alcatraz, they got together with Alan West, another inmate that they had been incarcerated with previously, and began to plot their escape. In 1961, they were assigned adjacent cells, which made planning the escape easier. Morris became the brains behind the plan, and over the next 6 months, the inmates began to stockpile materials that would help to chip away at the ventilation duct and create an opening wide enough to crawl through. This took place every night, and every morning they would cover their work with cardboard and paint so that the guards would not become suspicious. Some other tools they used that were found later, discarded in the prison yard, were saw blades, stolen spoons, and even a drill created from the motor of a broken vacuum cleaner. To ensure the men had time to escape before their absence was noted, they used a mixture of soap, toothpaste, concrete dust, and toilet paper in order to produce a homemade paper mache. This was used to form lifelike dummy heads, using real hair from the barbershop. These were placed in their beds, along with towels and clothing under the blankets, creating the illusion that they were fast asleep all night. This worked brilliantly, as their absence was not noticed until the following morning. The night of June 11th, 1962, the men were ready to attempt their escape. Previous to this, West noticed that the hole in his cell was crumbling, so he used cement to smooth over the sides. Sadly, the cement hardened and made the opening too small for West to fit through. In the meantime, his fellow inmates had squeezed through the openings in their cells, crawled into the utility space behind, then climbed to the cell block roof. This is where they assembled a makeshift raft and life preservers from stolen raincoats and paddles made from scrap wood and screws. They then climbed down to the water's edge, where they inflated the raft using an accordion-like musical instrument and made their escape. By the time West finally managed to get through the hole in his cell, the other inmates were long gone. Even though law enforcement agencies came across various pieces of evidence confirming the escape of the inmates, they failed to find any human remains or concrete physical proof of the convicts' whereabouts. But there has certainly been a lot of speculation. What do you think happened to them? Is it possible that they survived? Let us know in the comments below, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, we will appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and click on the small bell icon to get notified every time that we upload new content on this channel. Thanks for watching.